All right, we are going to do our craft for Russia. We are doing a Russian nesting doll, Matryoshka. It's actually pronounced a little bit different. I have a hard time saying it correctly. Matryoshka. This is my nesting doll that my brother brought back for me. So this is a traditional one that starts with the grandmother, or the matriarch, the woman in the household, and goes to a boy, probably father, mother, and siblings. But you can see that it keeps going. You open it up and it gets smaller and smaller, and then the last one is a little baby. Okay, so traditionally they are people, but they do not have to be. These nesting dolls can be absolutely anything. They're usually a theme. So if you choose a theme, like say African animals, you could do your nesting dolls in African animals, like a giraffe and a zebra and a lion. So each one could be a different animal, or I don't know, desserts that you like. You can do anything you want. You don't even have to do a theme, but traditionally they're done as some sort of theme, meaning similar things for each doll. So we're going to make our own out of paper. And this is one that I did. This was me just testing to see if my idea would work. So I have some paper attached to string, some cone shapes, and I'll show you how to do those. The lighting here isn't great because my sliding door is letting in a lot of light. So I just did a girl and have it attached to string, and then a boy, and then a dog, and then a chicken. So you can see that you could do several of these. You could have it keep going and going. You could have 10 of them if you wanted to. So I will show you how I made these. Okay, I'm going to, actually I'll show you specifically before I put it down. So I cut out a circle, and I'll show you this step by step. Drew my character on it and then taped it together. Cut a little hole to put the string in, and I have a knot in the string so that it won't slide through, and then I also put a piece of tape over that knot so that it doesn't slide through my hole. And I did that on each one, and the circles just get smaller and smaller each time. Okay, so let's go through that step by step. You do not have to do this if you don't want to. You could just draw your own version of nesting dolls. My daughter did her own little nesting dolls and made a chicken, of course, because we have chickens and she's obsessed. All right. So to make the circles, when I did my test round, I did not do precise circles at all. You can kind of see that. I just did circles, one each smaller than the last. So it started with the biggest one. You can see that is not a very precise circle, and mine stood up and worked just fine. If you want a more precise circle, you can probably find things in your kitchen. Like I have a plate, I have a bowl that's a little bit smaller than that circle. I'm going to trace around the rim of it. I have another bowl that's even smaller than that, and a cup that's even smaller than that. So I can trace those and get circles. So let me do one together. So I'm going to use this plate, put it on my piece of paper. Sorry, I'm getting messages. You can probably hear that ding. I'm going to trace around this. To make a circle. So this is going to be my biggest circle. I'm doing it in pen so that you can see it through the camera. You probably would want to use a pencil just so that you don't see these marks. Where's my test one? I did a pen to make my circle on these ones, and you can see the circle lines. It doesn't matter, but if you want to use a pencil, you won't be able to see all your lines on your finished product. Okay, so here's my circle. I want to figure out about where the middle is. It does not need to be exact. Like I said, your cone shapes are going to stand up. I'm guessing that's about the middle. I'm going to draw a line from the center out to the outer edge. Doesn't matter where. I'm also, though, going to put a mark. So where this line would keep going, I want to put a little mark on the edge over there, because that's where I'm going to fold my paper over to make the cone shape. I'll show you. We'll cut this one out. Actually, I have a pre-cut out one. So I cut out my circle, and then I cut along this line to the center, or to where I think the center is. And then I have a little mark here to where halfway is going to be. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one side, one of these edges from the edge, and you're going to twist it all the way around. It doesn't matter top or bottom. You're going to twist one end all the way, scooch it to where that edge would be. So that's going to be what your cone is going to look like. I'm going to suggest we don't tape it yet, because it's a lot easier to draw on it when it is flat. But I just wanted to show you this is how it's going to look. And I'm going to, after I draw on it, tape that together. Okay, but first I want to draw on it. So you're going to want to draw on half of it. Remember how we put this way? We put that mark here. What's going to show in the middle, here's my line in the back. What's going to show in the middle there is going to be this part here. So I have my line and my mark, and where I draw my picture, where it's going to show up, is going to be the center of this half. So then after I've drawn my picture, I'm going to do a stick figure. I've drawn my picture. There's my halfway line. I drew the picture I wanted here. And then I'm going to take one end, it's trying to go the other way, and fold it into my cone shape with my picture part out. I feel like that was a really bad example. I'm going to put my pen down. I'm going to grab these two. I'm going to fold this one with the picture all the way until it gets to my halfway mark. And then I'm going to tape it or glue it, whatever you have. Okay, now I have one of my cone shapes for my nesting doll. If you want to do just the cones and you don't want to do the string, then you just keep making these. If you want to do the string part, I'm going to cut a little hole in the tip there, just a little one, enough. Oh, yeah, no, that was good. Enough for the string to come through, but not too big because I don't want to add too much tape. So I have my hole here. I want this part of my handle, let's say, to be this long. I want this cone, this person, to come right about there. So I'm going to tie a knot right there. Then I'm going to put some tape on it. Again, it doesn't matter which kind of tape, it's just so that your string doesn't pull through. I've got my knot there. I'm going to put my tape And I'm going to make it all crinkly and crumply. I'm not going to make it even very tight because I want a big chunk there that won't go through that hole. Then I need to get my yarn through my hole. This may be a little tricky. I'm going to have to pull it through with my fingernails. You might need an adult to do that. One trick that I've learned for this is putting a tiny little piece of tape on the end, like to make it like a shoelace. If that helps you get it through, but then you do need to wrap it tightly. So now I'm going to push that through, and that worked. So I'm going to do for each next one, I'm going to put, actually it will be easier if you start on the smaller ones and put those on first to go up. So if I were going to do a smaller one next, I would want to put it on now, push it up, then put a knot in, and then pull it back down. Hopefully that makes sense. So what you want, so like if I were doing this again, I would put this, I would make all my cones, and then I would put the smaller one on with the knot so that I can put my cones down each way. If you don't do that, you're going to want to put your cone on with the hole in the top, slide it up so that you can then put your knot and your tape, and then slide it back down. Okay, hopefully that last part wasn't too confusing. So this is what we end up with, and they can sit back down on each other, and you can have your nesting doll that goes up, 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 up. Or like I said, you can just make cones with pictures on them, and then you can just pull them off of each other, which is still fun, and get to your smallest one. Okay, I think that is everything. Please feel free to email me or ask questions if you're not clear on anything. And I would love to see what you all come up with. Thank you. Bye.